Hello everyone, this is Dan Gramza, and welcome to Gramza Market Studies for Thursday, December 24th. For those of you who have celebrated Hanukkah, Happy Hanukkah belated, and for those of you who celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. And also for those of you who do not do any of the other, have a wonderful extended weekend because we're going to have the rest of today. The markets basically at the CME group start shutting down at noon, and I think it's the energy and metals that finish up at 12:45. So noon, 12:15, and 12:45 are different increments for different markets closing. And Friday the markets are closed, so they won't begin again until Sunday night, which is Chicago time I'm referring to, by the way, for all these times, which is the beginning of the day in Asia on Monday. All right, now let's take a look at what's going on here. The two markets that really fascinate me, I think, are just their textbook, and that is the NASDAQ and the mid caps. Nice and healthy moves. You know, yesterday's action relatively quiet, but consistent. You know, look at the size of the moves here. As I mentioned, that's the kind of behavior you and I want to see, and that's really what we are seeing. So I think that's a positive sign. The mid caps are also behaving the same way. The Dow is struggling, and the S&P kissed the magic 1120. So that's interesting. What are we looking for today in such a short session? We're looking for basically an unchanged to higher type day. I think going into the weekend we're expecting a positive move here. Let's take a look at what we were looking for in the dollar. And you know what we've seen here is that the currencies have lost some of that momentum to the downside, which means the dollar is losing some of its strength. That's what it implies. And we're seeing here in the euro, it's slowing down. We're seeing evidence that buyers are coming in. The Swissy, it came very close to this buy point, did not hit it. Japanese yen, this buy point's been tightened up. We're looking for a little bit of buying coming there. The Aussie, British pound, we're seeing some buying coming in. And the Canadian dollar continues to march right along. So that looks nice and healthy. But where it is, it's not a layup trade from there. There's a lot of work that has to be done if we're going to follow through there. When it comes to the interest rates, the short end of the curve, like I said, we're looking for a sideways behavior this week, and it's really giving us that. So I think that's just fine. The notes gave us that little bit of a rally and pulled back some. The issue is not so much today's action, but it's going to be Monday and Tuesday. Do we come back down to test these lows or not? And we should see it one of those 2 days if it is. Same issue here with the bonds. And right now we're just basically looking for an unchanged type day in those markets. And the metals, well, buyers came back in gold. You know, we saw evidence of that over the last couple days. It did trade through that buy point, and that means it would have closed out that sell point. That would be the concept anyways. And that difference there is $14, or it would be $1,400 a contract. That would be the dollar value of that move. Silver pushed its way back up through that buy point as well. And copper, that's the one that we definitely want to keep our eyes on. Nice and healthy. We are looking for continuation in that market. I think the right setup is in place here for copper. So that's a market we'd buy the breaks. And energy, well, we did make new highs, and we made them a little bit on selling here. Let me just show you. That's the 24th. So that's today's action in Asia. And actually Europe also. Europe is open now as well. And nice big move yesterday. And we're not looking for a big move today in that market either. Same thing here for natural gas. We're looking for basically an unchanged, a slightly higher day. Remember, this is still a big deal up here. So a fascinating setup in that market. And if we look at the grains, well, a little bit of buying coming in here in the beans. I'm not real convinced with that, though. I wouldn't be surprised to see it be a little softer today. Corn did trade through that buy level, and I just don't know how much energy there is behind it. Maybe to 410. I just don't feel very bullish that market, but again, we got to respect what's going on there, so that creates that buying opportunity. Wheat, we're looking for a market to go sideways, getting very close to knocking on that buy point. But right now, from that sell point level, we'd still want to maintain that position. Well, that concludes today's market studies. And again, I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend coming up here. It's a nice long one. And I'll look forward to being with you together before Monday's morning's opening. So in the meantime, take care.